Hey everybody, this is Lee again, and as you guys know, in lieu of the Draft Day movie that's come out, obviously as you see I'm a Browns fan, and welcome to this quick video. If you've seen any of the other videos I've done, you guys know, or I'm making no secret that I am a Browns fan. I'm not affiliated with the Browns in any way, but I'm a huge Browns fan, and I'm just, because of the Draft Day that came out, the movie that came out, hopefully you guys are, NFL fans and you're excited about that and you went and saw that. So, why are you here? You probably saw something that I wrote or I put out there in a post, or somewhere along the line. You're probably wondering, what is this guy talking about? What is this? Why do I only have 6 days left? Okay, if you've seen any of the other videos I've done, they're a little longer, but that's okay. I'm going to tell you about a course that I put out here. But first, let me tell you a little bit about me. When I first started back in 2007, I left, or I've been working in corporate America. I was a field service engineer, and I supported a lot of huge brands. Either as a consultant or working with some of the various companies I have. I've worked in customer facilities such as AT&T, Intel, Texas Instruments, Samsung, IBM, and that's just to name a few. I've actually been worldwide. In support of a lot of these major corporate brands as a field service engineer, project manager, safety coordinator, quality, you name it. I've kind of been a jack of all trades in that industry. A few years ago, if you haven't seen any of the other videos, you guys maybe you'll know, in short, in a 6-month span, I lost over 500 websites to hackers. I was hacked to the core. And I guess where I had that aha moment, I finally snapped out of it and realized, hey, you're taking all these actions, you're doing all these things online, but they weren't all streamlined. They weren't all with laser target focus. And when I got hacked, it really forced me into dealing with that. Okay, and I didn't realize how many mistakes I was making along the way when I was doing the traditional style of marketing. And after losing all those websites and not collecting a list for all of them, just so you guys know, I'm open about that. I just didn't know all the process. I'm an action taker, but I didn't know that I had to collect a name and email list in order to make money online. I just never heard of that before. And I know some of you are probably thinking, duh, dude, that's the whole part of making money online. Or maybe like me, and I didn't know that. I didn't know you have to collect a list. And I didn't know that. I was one of those hey, I wanted to learn the process. I wanted to take action, and I wanted to set these websites up. And I was doing it. And I was taking over for competitive keywords, taking over top slots, and then, long story short, I got hacked. And when I got hacked, what happened? On some of those niches, I wasn't collecting a name and email address. So what I pretty much lost my whole business for that specific niche. So that means that all that time, that effort, that money spent, the people, the outsource that I paid to do this, that means all that was gone because I didn't have a list. Okay, fast forward to now. Obviously I've modified everything that I do, folks. I don't necessarily do the traditional style ways of marketing anymore for actual websites or anything like that. I'm more of a Facebook fan page guy now, and I incorporate those into some of the niches that I actually have. But what's really important for y'all to note is that I've made so many mistakes, and a lot of that was built on my fear of the internet when I first started back in 2007. So when I first started, I was a technophobe. Even though I worked in the semiconductor industry and I've worked in all these places, working online is very, very different than working, electromechanical engineering and, safety and quality and all these other things that I've done. It's very different. It's a completely different mindset. That mindset that I had in that field is very technical. You have to know a lot of different processes. You have to be able to align yourself properly, even though, at the end of the day, the end product was, what you're watching. More than likely, many of you who are watching this, you're watching these off of something that is has an Intel processor in it. It's one of the customer sites I supported for many years, actually. to the last one, which I supported, which was Samsung. And again, I'm not affiliated with anybody. I'm just giving you a little bit of background so you kind of know who I am and why should you listen to me, really, is what this is about. So when I was doing all this stuff, when I started back in 2007, I was scared, folks. Even though I had this technical knowledge, I had no idea what a hosting was, or what a URL, or what it meant for an alt tag, or SEO, on-page SEO, off-page SEO, backlinking, interlinking, videos, social media. I didn't know any of that stuff. It was completely foreign to me. But I knew that aligning myself with the internet was the way to go. Okay? So what I did when I initially started, I was buying course after course after course after course. And all I was doing was confusing myself, if we're being honest. And I didn't really expand on any of my experience until roughly about 3.5 years into my online experience. I only had one site for about 3.5 years. And by the way, I built that site into a massive powerhouse site, by the way. Tons and tons of articles. I actually still have it to this day, as a matter of fact. I guess a symbolic thing. I just haven't let it go yet, or sell it yet on Flippa. But what happened as a result, I was taking all this action, but I was getting some return on investment, but I just didn't know all the process pieces. I didn't know, I started learning things about putting together content, putting together a website, and interlinking it, and I was getting a lot of leverage. Back in 2007 and 2008, that actual site was rated one of the top 50 blogs for its actual niche. And I got multiple awards that way, which I thought was really, really cool, really neat. Being self-taught, I thought that was pretty cool. So, I decided I wanted to up my game a little bit, if you will. So I did. I started to take on more sites and more sites and more sites, more hosting, more things. And what I did was I gave myself a job on top of the job I already had. And I wasn't making that much money as a result, which for many of you can relate. You probably work a ton of hours and you're not making a whole heck of a lot of money. That sucks. I've been there. Okay, it's like I said, fast forward to went from one site to now 500 plus sites, and I got hacked to the core, to my server level on many of these sites, and I lost over 500 sites as of 2012. And I can't even explain to you what that's like. When you go and you take action and you believe in yourself and you do all these things. But even at the time, like I told you, I wasn't collecting a name, I wasn't collecting an email address. I was putting sites up. I was with the hopes of making money, and I was making some money. Don't get me wrong, I was making money, but it wasn't what I was worth. Just never was. So after I got hacked, I ended up taking off time from work that I was working at as a safety guy over there at Samsung. During a major ramp up and demo, if you will, of fabs, of one of the fabs there, I took some time off so I can fix this problem, because it was no secret. Everybody that knew me at work knew that I was into the internet and I was working on the internet. But when I got hacked the second time, the first time was 300 sites. The second time I lost over 200. And it devastated me. That second time, it's like blowing all 4 tires in your car. It just devastated me. So I asked him, I needed some time off. I needed to work on this. I needed to work on my game. And I thought I was, in much better shape than what I actually was. So then I got to that point. I got into recovery mode, and I realized a lot of those sites I had to cut as a loss because I didn't collect names and email addresses. I made mistakes. I didn't know, folks. I didn't know. Sorry. I know you're probably thinking, man, what an idiot. Why wouldn't you do that? And yeah, I was. I guess, that's lessons learned. I didn't get a mentor. I didn't get somebody that taught me the right ways of doing it. I just was buying product after product after product after product. And I was trying to bridge my gap in information. And to a tune of, since I started online, to a tune of over $150,000 online. And when you get hacked like that and you finally realize, man, I could have just paid for a mentor, or I could have paid to have somebody really walk me through a process, and hey, lessons learned. But you know what? It's got me to this point. So after that, I retooled my game. Obviously, now there's only 3 core business models that I work on, and which you can find at facebook.com/SEO service DFWTX. And that's 3 things. 1 is book publishing. I've published several books since then, and I've got like 6 more right now as I'm speaking right now in the queue, which is really cool, that I'm having transcribed. The second is a mobile app for your business. Okay, folks, mobile marketing there's nothing like it. Period, hands down. It's the most responsive way of doing business online. Any local business here in the Dallas-Fort Worth or surrounding areas, if you don't have a mobile app for your business, you're just losing money. That's all I can say. You're hemorrhaging money right now because you're probably throwing money at a marketing budget to get you traffic or to get you on SEO and all that. Folks, you can leave it at that right now with just like that with the mobile app. I mean, your traffic problems will be solved immediately. And the last but not least, which is social media, which leads me to those are my 3 core business models now. I don't focus on so much web development, even though I still, with my experience of doing it, obviously I still get a lot of people asking me questions and how do I go about this, and I've helped so many people out. I love to do that, by the way. I love to help people, but it's not something I primarily focus on anymore because I just think that websites are kind of the older wave of technology. I just kind of feel that way. I think after getting hacked, it made me realize that that's more of a brick and mortar style way of actually doing business online, which is still good. Please don't get me wrong. Don't even think that I'm suggesting having a website is bad, because I'm not. But for me, I just switched up my focus because, folks, I still have quite a bit of websites. It's just not my primary business models that I use anymore. Okay, but I still have a bunch, so just keep that in mind. What I primarily work on more than anything these days is actual social media, which is what this course is about. Okay, social media is the new SEO, folks. Social engagement, I guess you should say, is the new SEO. If you're not getting social engagement, you're not getting the love from the search engines. That I can guarantee you on. And then just because of recent published articles by Matt Cutts at Google, suggest that, and what Google's put out there, that if you don't have social engagement, we're not giving you results. Okay, so which leads me to, why should you align yourself with social media? Facebook in particular. Me, I was already using Facebook. I've been on Facebook since 2007, actually since I started online, but I was using it more for personal reasons. And I never realized all the things that Facebook presented. And after I got hacked, like I said, I had to readjust my business model. So then obviously I start looking to what web properties I already have: Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and obviously Tumblr, all these other ones, But what happened as a result shocked me, because I started to realize, like, holy crap, interfacing and using Facebook is much easier than having to develop your own website. It's the same exact thing, in my opinion. And I'm speaking from somebody that's built hundreds of sites and lost them. I still have a bunch more, though, but, I don't want you guys to know those websites, because just in case you got any unethical hackers out here who want to hack those too. And I had, I started to establish a, Facebook presence, i.e. fan pages. And I started taking all these action, but what's really tough is that when you start building out these tabs and trying to take even more action within there, man, you had to know all these iframes, you had to know how to redo this and redo that, and just to make them look sound, because I'm not sure if many of you know right now, but if you actually have a fan page, those little tabs you get, the ones that has the photos and the likes, and if you've included anything else, your node or your events or anything like that, you can actually populate up to 10 of those in there. And just a tip, just so you know. Even though they're coming up with a new, design here shortly, you can still use up to 10 of those tabs right now. If you're not using them right now, you're going to really love this, because there's an app called 22 Social. 22 Social is going to completely revolutionize the way you do things if you're using Facebook. It is, in my opinion, the best mobile and social media resource I've ever used, hands down. It's the most simplistic. It's intuitive. I mean, this thing is simplistic, but this thing is like, for instance, if you want to compare it to any kind of car, it doesn't have the pretty features that a lot of things, quote unquote, look like they do. This thing it's like having a I don't know, to me, like, within Facebook is obviously the hot rod of all social networks. So just imagine if you think that you got a Porsche GT2, or whatever, but in all actuality, you're really wanting a Corvette Z06 or whatever the case. And I mean, if you're a car person, that'll make more sense to you. But this thing has got all of the bells and whistles. It's got freaking plenty of horsepower, and it does everything that you need it to do. And excuse my dog. Folks, just so you know, this is the beautiful part I love about working from home and being able to do it out of my home office. But every time I get on here and I do this, my dog likes to drink out of her water. So if you hear if you hear the little lick in the background, I'm bringing it to your attention. She does it every single time I do these. True story. I'm sure you'll hear it in the other videos I do too, but I just don't edit those out. Anyway, back to the Facebook fan pages, folks. Facebook is the hot rod of all hot rods for viral traffic online. There's nothing better. Okay, and obviously, even with the recent change of Facebook saying you can't get organic traffic, folks, that's for the average user. Okay, you're here at this video right now because you're wanting ways to actually engage it a little bit more. You want ways to take it to the next level. Well, you're actually watching this video, and you should thank yourself because you can go to $1,000,000tosuccess.com right now. You can actually pick up it. They got a free version of it, or you can pay the $2 for the first 30 days. Tell 3 people, and you get it for free. That's really up to you. If you don't have $2, then they have a free version. So that's just something to think about. And where you're actually seeing this page, it's on facebook.com/SEO service DFWTX. So now that I've told you all that stuff, and I told you my experience of getting hacked and having all these problems, and telling you a little bit about me, let me tell you why I actually put this course together. Okay, because this is really what this is about. Because I told you my 3 core business models: book publishing, mobile apps for business, and social media. This course right here that I'm talking about right now, this is about social media. This is about using Facebook and Google Plus and YouTube and all these seamlessly. And it's with an app called 22 Social. 22 Social that you can pick up at $1,000,000tosuccess.com. Okay, remember, free version if you don't have the money, or if you want to spend $2, pick up the pro version. Awesome resource. Okay, and after that, if you don't tell 3, it's $22 a month. Okay, let me give you the cost comparison for $22 a month versus hosting, URLs, all this stuff. You're actually going to pay more in the end result to actually host your own sites than you would just to pick up 22 Social, because, like I said, it's the best mobile and social media based resource that you're going to find on the internet. It has a light gate. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit of the features of 22 Social. It has a light gate. So when you actually go to 22s.com/yes to money/social tap, which this course is about, you're actually going to hit a light gate. You're going to actually have to like that page in order to see the information. That's just the way that is set up. It's intuitive. It really, what I like about that is it prevents these people who are kind of on the fence. I'm on the fence. I really want to see this, but I don't really want to commit to anything. And really, that's what I like about it. It has a light gate into it. All that means is it adds to the value of your actual page. I actually just created that page for that point. And sorry, the nose thing, it's blowing out here, so I guess it's stirring up some allergies or whatever the case. I don't know. So it has a light gate. The second thing is you can build an email list built right into it. I mean, you're talking seamless transition really, really easily. I love it. I absolutely love that feature. So for those of you that don't know what collecting an email list is, take it from me, from somebody that lost all sites and I wasn't collecting an email list for most of them. This mobile optimized squeeze page that's in your fan pages, you literally can sign up for an Aweber or a GetResponse or MailChimp or Constant Contact or SendReach or whatever it is that you actually decide you want to go about using for an autoresponder. And that's your lifeblood of your business, folks, by the way. Folks, if you're not collecting a name and email address for anything that you're doing, you're not building a business. You're building a hobby. Just so you know, you're not building a business. You're building a hobby. Okay? That means essentially that if you're not collecting names and email addresses, you don't have a business. I'm just going to tell you that. I learned that the hard way. I went through 5 years. Even though I was making some money, I learned real quick after I got hacked, I didn't have a business because I got hacked. And it happens to everybody. It happens to big dogs. It happens to the government. It happens to everybody. They get hacked. But unfortunately, when you get hacked and you don't have all the right resources in place, that means two things. That means, one, all that effort was for nothing, and two, you really didn't have a business. Sorry to break it to you, but that's the truth. All right, so that's one of the things I love about 22 Social is that you can automatically build an autoresponder or a follow-up list where you can click names and email addresses and really start to bridge that gap and make money from that. So not only that, I mean that feature in itself should be intuitive, but the great thing about getting a pro membership is that you can build these 22 social pages on as many fan pages as you so desire. And remember what I said, you get up to 10 tabs within your fan page that you can build out. Just imagine 10 different 22 social pages to different offers or to different opportunities where you're collecting a name and email address. It's increasing your likes. You're sending, as you guys know, if you didn't know this, now I'm going to tell you, because the organic reach has gone down, if you actually paid Facebook advertising to send it to those pages, it's light gated. That means it's going to build your likes up and it's going to introduce people to your opportunity. It increases your chances of success online. First. Second thing is you're collecting a name and email address, folks. You're starting to build a business. And it does it easily. You can get it at $1,000,000tosuccess.com. Just telling you. Don't sleep on this. This is not one of those resources that I'm going to find something different. I'm going to find a free alternative. You're not. I'm sure you. Believe me, you're not going to. There's nothing like 22 Social. And those guys that put on the Hangouts, Jerry, all those guys are phenomenal. They give phenomenal training. This is where, like, some of the things that I'm not going to talk about in this course, this Social Tab course, they cover there. That's, so let me get to why I actually created this course. Like I said, I lost my business, folks. So I started to integrate with social media, and I started to realize I was getting more engagement. And what I noticed with more engagement is I was starting to climb up the charts for quote-unquote SEO. And, I kind of had this light bulb moment, like, So then I was introduced to 22 Social last year by a fellow named Troy James. And the 22 Social guys, when they first launched this, Troy James, I'm one of his beta testers, by the way. I make that no secret. So when he comes out with these awesome softwares and all these things, luckily for me, I get to test them out before you guys get to see them. So pretty cool. But he's the guru marketer behind all the stars that you all know. So and I'm not going to go into that. But he introduced me to 22 Social, and I jumped on it. And many of you right now, if you want to know if you should trust me or not, just type in 22 Social review. I'm the very first result. You'll see it. You can't miss it. Pause the video right now. Go there and check it out if you don't believe me. It's the #1 result for that. Okay, and why? I show you exactly what that's about. I show you exactly how that is interfaced with the internet and how valuable 22 Social is. It's seriously the best resource I've ever used. And you don't build squeeze pages better or faster than that. It's just a phenomenal resource. So what I decided to do was, based around this 22 Social platform, I wanted to create a course around that. Because to me, like they say, they bridge 2 and 2, and they're bridging the 2 and 2 together. And they're right. 22 Social is an amazing resource. So what I wanted to do was, for anybody that, maybe doesn't pick up the pro version, or maybe they have some, just not understanding what they need to do online, I put together a course called Social Tap. That's what I mean. Engage the Social Tap, folks. And you only can do it for 6 more days. What I've done is, it's a nuts and bolts, in my opinion, nuts and bolts from start to finish. But I wrote it in a way for the guy like me back in 2007 when I first started out. But for people like the guy that got hacked, those 500 people, i.e. me, and provide enough information along the way so that people actually have good foundational approaches to building a business online using 22 Social. Again, I make it no secret, folks, that 22 Social is the best mobile and social media resource you're going to use online. And this is coming from a guy that actually provides mobile apps for business. You got to keep that in mind too. So that's my recommendation for it. So what I've done is I've created, it's 16 modules, folks. You know, it's about 48, 49 pages long, somewhere in there. But the great thing about it is at the end of each module, at the end of each subject, I actually include over-the-shoulder training for you. Plus, I include other sites that, you know, whatever that niche is about or whatever that topic's about, I include other references that you can immediately go to right now and boom, put them in there. And some of you savvy marketers will really, really like that part of what I did there with that. And I've gotten a lot of kudos from a lot of my buddies. They're like, man, people don't even realize what you just sprinkled in there. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And I did that for a reason. I wrote this in a way that is newbie friendly for somebody like me when I first started out, but also for that guy that got hacked, up to even a guy like me now that's like, holy crap, I didn't even know that was a resource out there that I could use. That's why I did it. It's for everybody. It's a nuts and bolts course, and it's using 22 Social. Okay, again, 16 modules, over-the-shoulder training, and it's for 6 days only. But before I say that, before you go over here and you visit 22s.com/yes-to-money/social tab, let me tell you, there's 4 bonuses when you actually go pick this up, because anybody in their right mind, after they see what I put in here, what I offer in this course, I mean, I'm only doing it for 6 more days, folks. That course has been valued at, you know, and I've given it to a variety of people. It's been valued at $497, upwards to $797 and $997 just for that course, not including these bonuses. Okay, so you don't have to pay that. It's a fraction of that price, and you can pick it up right now. Just click the green button below. That's the only thing. That's kind of what I'm getting at. But you're going to get 4 bonuses. The first one is a course that I wrote for myself. It's called FB To-Do List. And what I'm going to provide in these bonuses are things that I provided for myself. These little things I did along the way, even though I wasn't doing everything right, I still smart enough to actually take notes and help myself out, which, you know, has some advantages, you know. But what I did is I created a thing when I first started with Facebook. I started taking these notes on what you should do here, what you should do there, what you should do here, and streamlined it. And then what I did was I called it, you know, it's called FB To-Do List is what it's called. And it's something I put together for me, and basically it's a real quick nuts and bolts approach to how to start up a fan page. That's essentially it. I mean, you can't have information without how to actually use the actual resource in itself. So I want to provide that as a bonus right off the jump. And because Social Tap, it's about engaging the Social Tap, and you'll understand what that means after you go into the course itself. But the first bonus is the FB To-Do List. The second bonus is I include 500 bookmarking sites. You'll know why, folks. The more and more that you get yourself out there and you spread yourself out there, that means more links. That means more people. That means more eyes on your stuff. That means more chances of you getting more likes to that page. That gives you more opportunity to get more sales. And again, I can't guarantee you're going to get sales. I'm not even guarantee you're going to take action, but I hope you do. I mean, this is why I'm actually putting this course out here. The third bonus is, and this is one of the things that, you know, because I've been marketing online, I've been collecting this, you know, silently collecting this massive list of sites where I noticed, like, hey, if I want to get SEO juice real quick, or I want to establish a presence online in places, and I'll just share with you, even though you're watching this on video, I include a massive video site sharing list that is well worth a bonus in itself. And I'm including all that into this additional sources guide. That's the third one. It's a huge list of additional sources. And you'll know what it means after you pick up the course. And the fourth, the last but not least, is, like I said, folks, after I got hacked, I lost my business. Most of it, as a matter of fact. You know, I put all these websites, I took all this action, but what was I not doing? I was not collecting a name and an email address. So you don't have to have this problem. I'm actually going to I'm going to provide you, it's actually my personal checklist to myself. And it's not formatted so that you can understand, you know, I don't do that. Okay, I did this for myself, and I just figured I wanted to add value. I'm going to throw that in there, and it's a 10-day sequence. It's a 10-day autoresponder follow-up sequence of how you can start right now, start collecting names and email addresses, and really nurturing that relationship with those people. Because I've learned a lot since then, and I've really valued more of that, business approach rather than hobby approach. And which one are you taking? It's up to you. So with all of that, you just got to go to 22s.com/yes to money/social tap. It's for 6 days only, folks. If you don't pick it up, I'm sorry. It's never ever going to be at this price again. That I can guarantee you. This is obviously a soft launch. And, folks, here's the cool thing. You can follow up with me at sharebeat@gmail.com. And, the cool thing is when you actually see this video, when you go to this actual 22 social page, leave a comment below. Ask some questions. That's one of the other things that 22 social is great with. It includes the Facebook features built right into that squeeze page. So it's nothing like you've ever seen before, especially for that price. So, folks, for those of you who don't know what it is that I am trying to accomplish in this world, since I got hacked, it made me really find inner peace with the fact that people do unethical things. And people don't want to do things the right way. So let me share with you. My goal in this world is to educate a macro community that will fund a micro community that will feed a community. I wish you all love, peace, ease of mind, health, wealth, and happiness. Have a great day, and don't forget, engage the social tap. You got 6 more days to do it. I highly recommend you take advantage of it. I love the course. It's never going to be valued at this ever again. So you got 6 more days to do it. One last time, 22s.com/yes to money/social tap. Go there now. I left a link in the description below. Have a great day, everybody.